Susundan ko ang iyong bakas, kasama patas, tagumpay natin to dahil tayo'y malakas. Para sa Pinas, nasa amin ang alas, hindi ko atras, kinikilala sa taas kasi kami ang malakas. Para sa Pinas, nasa amin ang alas, hindi ko atras, kinikilala sa taas, ganito kami sa Pinas. Wow! Hold on. Yeah, wala ka sa Pinas. We are laging MVP, no surrender, no retreat. Pag nagsama-sama, just imagine what we can achieve. Laging MVP, no surrender, no retreat. Giving 100 all my all, cause we just cannot be defeated. We are unstoppable, immune and invulnerable. Ready ang equipment, lahat frozen, malak crowd control. Pakita ko na jab like pow, beast of the southeast. Taas sa matawag, proud and loud, cause every enemy we devour. Susundan ko ang iyong bakas, kasama patas, tagumpay natin to dahil tayo'y malakas. Para sa Pinas, nasa amin ang alas, hindi ko atras, kinikilala sa taas kasi kami ang malakas. Para sa Pinas, nasa amin ang alas, hindi ko atras, kinikilala sa taas, ganito kami sa Pinas. Wow! Malakas, Pilipinas, malakas. Kahit anong lane, we become the monsters. Malakas, Pilipinas, malakas. Face the golden sun and repping for the 3 stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we unite, be the stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we unite, be the stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we unite, be the stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we the stars.
Ang lakas ng Pinas, we unite with the stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we unite with the stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we unite with the stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we the stars.
The 15th season of MPL Philippines is brought to you by the following sponsors. Infinix, the MPL official tournament phone. Lakas sa laro with Infinix. Smart, the official telco partner of MPL Philippines. BPI, the official bank partner of MPL Philippines. Mas magandang bukas, buksan sa BPI. Our partner in esports, Time Zone. Join the fun at Time Zone. TT Racing, for those who dream, work, and play. TT Racing has your back. Clear, power up your dandruff-free scalp. Supercharge with Clear. Don't miss any MPL action by following our official Facebook and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Follow MPL Philippines on TikTok for more content. Experience the Lakas ng Pinas of MPL Philippines Season 15 action live at Green Sun Hotel. Grab your playoffs tickets now via the official MPL Philippines website. Host unforgettable events at Green Sun. Enjoy the Arcade Haven promo, available from Fridays to Sundays. Book now via reservations at greensun.com.ph. MPL Philippines is monitored and supervised by the Games and Amusement Board.
After 4 heartbreaking and gruesome days in the playoffs, it all boils down to this. Will the defending champions, Onic Philippines, reclaim their throne? Or will the top-seeded Team Liquid Philippines be able to raise the Immortal Cup? Fans from around the world, get ready, because this is the MPL Philippines Season 15 Grand Finals. And welcome to the English panel. My name is Ian, together with Brigida, and of course, Brigida and the Brigadudes out there. How are you feeling?
Yep. First of all, I loved that introduction. I really felt the energy, and I am feeling just the same. I'm very ecstatic for this upcoming series, this best of 7 that will be finally witnessing after 4 days of, as you mentioned, grueling matches. And it finally came to a point that we also know who our representatives are going to be.
Yeah, finally. Fortunately, it's for them. It's Onic Philippines and, of course, Team Liquid Philippines. But, of course, these guys are all equipped with all-day 120 FPS system. The next-gen Infinix GT30 Pro is the new official tournament phone powering next seasons of MPL Philippines. So we started out with GT20, now it's GT30. I'm excited to get a GT40.
Yep.
I'm thinking ahead. I want the future, bro.
Yeah. Honestly, we've been revealing so much this season. You know, even yesterday we've had some very insane launches of the TT racing chairs and all that. I feel like there are a lot more to look forward to, especially for today, because this is gonna be a long night / day of MLBP.
For sure. You're here. Chantel's over there. Everyone's here in the Champions Arena. We can see it's all filled up with enthusiastic, excited fans because it's going to be a heated matchup between Onic Philippines and Team Liquid Philippines. And of course, they're all equipped again with 120 FPS from the Infinix GT30 Pro. It's the new next official tournament phone powering the next seasons of MPL Philippines. Now, Brigida, we've gone through 4 days of amazing playoffs bout. We even reached, you know, two days of all 10 games, all 5 games. But of course, if you guys are also enjoying that, MPL fans and X-fans, you can get ready to witness the best student teams battle for glory at the Infinix Campus Cup Philippines local group stage.
Collegiate MLBB is just getting as exciting as ever. This will be live streamed from June 14 to 15, and the national finals will be happening on June 28, and that's only on Infinix Philippines Facebook page. So this is XCCPH. Hashtag where legends rise, and I hope you guys, if ever you are collegiate players, have actually signed up for this, because there is a massive prize pool awaiting you once you join this tournament.
Yeah, and not to mention, of course, experiencing the esports action live. It's fortunate for us to be casters, but I would also love to feel the hype of being an actual player. Unfortunately, I don't have the skills, and for sure, all of my co-talents don't have the skills also.
Yeah, we've been learning.
I'm dragging you guys down.
Wait, why was I included? But if anything, you know, I'm sure we're learning a lot from the games we watch, but it's just not that easy to pull off once you're the one playing.
Really not that easy, and their journey also is not easy as we take a look at our MPL Philippines Season 15 playoffs bracket in just a while. This is what we were pertaining to a while ago. The gruesome first 2 days. You were there, I was there, everyone was there, and we all know how long those 2 days were.
Yep, we've pretty much introduced and set things up for all of the matches that we've seen, in particular throughout the past 4 days, and all the more for these 2 teams that we're about to witness today, because Onic Philippines, they're the ones who got the best of Team Liquid Philippines the last time they met. So they broke the record. They broke how even their matchups were. They were initially at the 1-1 after ending the regular season, but Onic Philippines, it was very dominant. They took a sweep out of Team Liquid Philippines' hands, and now that they're finally meeting again in a best of 7, and it feels like Team Liquid Philippines, they've definitely gone through that much-needed reset, you know, like based on how they played yesterday. I'm really excited to see how things are going to play out in this best of 7.
Who could forget Tlph again reverse sweeping Team Falcons in their first matchup, and then after that they got dropped down in the lower brackets and crawled their way back to the first ever Game 7 lower bracket finals. It became a 4-2 score between a familiar foe, a familiar titan in Team Falcons. Unfortunately, yesterday they had to bow down, and Tlph stood tall and advanced to the grand finals.
Yeah.
Who, in fact, is actually our second MSC representative.
Yeah, imagine if Team Falcons went all the way through. Right? You'd be amazed at how strong their endurance is, at how strong their stamina is, because they've been playing for 5 days straight, if ever that does happen. But yes, now we do finally know who our representatives are, and they're slowly on the road to finally being immortals.
Yeah, and speaking of the road, the golden road, all of our champions in our 7-year history are now listed below. We have even back to Season 1, Aethermain, then Signal Ultra, Archangel, then our back-to-back champions for the first time, Sunsparks, where JP was, and then Brand Esports, shout out to Carl TZ, Blacklist International, the second team to achieve a back-to-back. OHEB was there, then RSG Philippines, shout out to Naisu, he's an OG Raider, and Blacklist International again regaining their championship status. Season 11 Echo, which brought Carl TZ his second championship, and of course, we also have AP Bren in Season 10, who then represented us for M5 World Championship, brought home the gold, and of course, Team Liquid Echo, who swept then Falcons AP Bren, then of course, our last champions, the defending champions, then Fnatic, now Onic Philippines, who are also the defending world championships as they breeze through the M6.
Yep, and if you look at all these former champions of MPL throughout the years, right? A lot of them have had actually really good records, be it in international tournaments, even for either main, like during the beginning or during the first few tournaments we've been having in MSC, and all the more for like the past 3 world championships that we've been seeing. It's always been a Filipino team taking home the championship, and that's again then Bren Esports, then Blacklist International so far, Echo as well, and now imagine like just how dominant the Filipino teams have already established themselves out there in the international scene.
Yeah, I mean, for MSC, we did have a 2-year slump wherein we lost to other regions, but now we will be having not just 1, 2, or 3, but in fact 4 MSC at EWC 25 representatives. Of course, the first 2 you will be witnessing now. That's going to be Onic Philippines and Team Liquid Philippines, going back after losing at MSC 2024 in the hands of then Falcons AP Bren. And of course, the champions, we have Team Navi, and we also have a second female representative in Team Liquid.
Yep. If you watched the Athena League, which took place a couple of days ago, it's been a very intense best of 7 series. It didn't necessarily reach game number 7, but it was a close fight all throughout. The shortest game was like the only game, there was only one game which took less than 15 minutes. The rest were either 15 and above, 20 minutes and above, and these 2 teams have showed a really great performance in that specific tournament, which I believe would make the Filipino fans
really proud.
The Filipino women competitive scene
my fellow
women fans, they're very confident and very encouraged to support them in the upcoming MWI.
Yeah, who could also forget it was a David versus Goliath matchup between then Smart Omega Empress, now Team Navi, after they defeated the back-to-back champions Team Vitality in an amazing matchup at MWI back at MSC at EWC 2024. It was a great match. I was able to cast it, fortunately. I honestly felt the emotion of these young girls, because they literally cried their eyes out, because it was such an honor to raise their trophy when they won it back last year.
Yep, they've been through so much. Imagine if you know the history of these women, they flew out all the way again from Cebu, right? Like I think it was
Cebuanos.
They were Cebuanos, so they really had to relocate in order to pursue all this. And it's also a lot interesting to witness MWI this year, because there are additional regions joining us. And for this time around, we'll have 2 representatives again, as you mentioned, from the Philippines, because during the previous year, we had only 2 representatives for Indonesia. So that was Team Falcons Vega and again, as you've mentioned, Team Vitality. So now Philippines will be having or sending out 2 representatives too, which makes things a lot more interesting, because from the initial 12 teams only battling out from the beginning of the MWI, it is now 16 teams that we'll be expecting to see.
Yeah, the more the merrier, right? The more that we can support our fellow esports talents, athletes, and of course the game that we love, MLBB, and apart from that, other esports titles. But I think we have a bit of reinforcements from the We Bear Bros themselves. We got Naisu, Leo, and Slick Thick in the house. How you guys feeling?
No, he's not Slick Thick if he's a Wee Bear Bro.
Oh, wait.
Right now, he's Renmar.
He's Renmar now.
Okay, I understand. But I know that this is something some of us have already probably put out there, like all our predictions, but I I'd like to hear it one more time. You know?
Oh no.
Starting with you guys.
Okay, I'll start.
joking.
Naisu, Daddy, I call you Dad because you're my dad. Naisu, I'll start because I'm the driver.
Pause.
I think I
This is what happens when we let the kids go to the panel.
Yeah, they're on their own.
They're on their own.
Hey, I'm gonna take full control now. I vote for Team Onic Philippines.
What a swerve.
Okay.
He's doing the Sigma thing. Okay.
Are you sure about it? Are you sticking with that?
Yeah, I'm sticking with that. I'm not gonna change unless I see the result of game number 1. I might change.
He doesn't have the sign.
Doesn't
Okay.
count. That's
Alright.
so Ingan.
It doesn't count. Oh, how about you?
Okay. Oh! I am actually a liquid girly.
We all know that.
So you know what my answer is after all.
Okay, fine. Naisu, let's go with you.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and put it up. I'm going right here with Onic.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with the boys here. So good luck to Onic Philippines.
Leo?
The forecast I posted about a week ago says liquid,
Oh.
and I'm gonna ride it out. That's it. I'm gonna ride it out.
Okay, Redmar, before you vote out, we have 2-2. 2 for TL, 2 for Onic.
Yeah.
The tiebreaker is you, Slick Thick.
Where is my Falcons emote? Well, today I too am a liquid girly.
Oh!
By the way, this is actually my first prediction for Liquid the entire playoffs.
It is.
Oh.
Every other
It
time I've predicted against them, it was against Falcons.
It was against Falcons,
And then
yeah.
for Onic, I predicted Onic then.
Wait, I have a question. How
Yes.
many of us got the finalists correct? I know I did, but
I
it was
did.
reversed.
I did. I got the crawl wrong. Yeah.
I see. Okay, same.
I never publicized my predictions, so I'm just going to say I've been perfect so far.
Okay.
What?
That works.
Oh wait, me too. I haven't publicized mine.
Okay, but you can publicize the new battle emotes. You can also get it for only 109 diamonds only.
You can get the new emotes from Rora, Tlph, Twisted, and if you haven't gotten them yet, Onic, Omega, and TNC's battle emotes also return.
So show your support for your favorite MPL team and buy them now at the in-game shop. You can also support your favorite team now at the Grand Finals by voting down if you're for Let's Go Liquid, or you know what time it is. It's Onic time now, gentlemen. We all know it's gonna be a best of, and the girly, the liquid girly.
No, it's okay.
It's all gonna be a best of 7. And I think you guys need the rest. We're going to take it now from here. So thank you so much, We Bear Bros. We'll see you in a short while.
You made it sound like we're a bunch of seniors.
I know. We're their parents.
I'm 22.
It's so awkward to talk to those guys like I'm so old, but I'm actually younger than all of, no, not you, but all of them. It's like,
Yeah.
my Filipino instinct in me is saying to say, you know.
But you know, for me, I'm just happy I have another liquid girly
yeah.
with us.
You have 2 liquid girlies.
We have 2 liquid girlies in the English broadcast
Yeah.
for today.
It's the Leo and Renmar, and again, yeah, Leo Renmar voted for
But Leo did
Tlph.
say he was a liquid girly.
Least.
But it's okay, it's okay.
So now it's just me, my daddy again, voting for the guys in yellow, Onic Philippines. I know they have it in them to be the 3rd back-to-back champions. And for you, I know you believe in every single one. The young GOAT is there, even
Hey.
Daddy JP. 3-time MPL champs for Carl TZ and JP.
Yeah, and I mean, it's an odd season.
Oh, yeah. Every odd season since season 10,
Oh, yeah.
Team Liquid, then Echo, always wins it. That's why they're always part of MSC. And since it's season 15, Brigida, oh my gosh.
But again, you voted for Onic.
But I voted for Onic, so yeah.
Yeah.
Still, Tlph versus Onic. You know, we called them Titans, we called them gods, but now the road to immortality will start now.
And by the way, if Onic does actually get this, they're breaking so many records so far in terms of statistics, in terms of the seedings and the matchups and all that.
Yeah,
and
4th seed, right?
yeah,
Third seed.
them being
yeah.
a 3rd seed, winning the championship, that could be a first for them as well. So that's so many achievements, honestly. If you're Onic Philippines, like you get that, you get so much.
Yeah.
And you'll be a huge threat for sure heading into the next international
Yeah,
tournament.
Not to mention a 3rd team to be the back-to-back champions up against Team Liquid Philippines. But I believe we have a lot of people here right now at the Champions Arena, so let's throw it over to our hosts.
I am now here with Victor Tancabuay, Project Manager of Philippine Esports Organization, and Attorney Manuel S. Plaza, the 3rd Commissioner of Games and Amusements Board. We now have our official representatives for MWI and MSC at EWC 2025. how important is it for us to represent our flag and to show the greatness of the Philippines in esports?
Well, Jamie, dito natin mapapakita talaga na we have so much to offer the esports industry and we have the competitive edge to truly bring out our national pride.
That is so true. Truly bring out our national pride. What about you, Mr. Kabuay?
Well, on behalf of PESO, we're really glad to be here, no? To witness the excellence of our Philippine teams, especially sa larangan ng MLBB. So, 1 game, 2 champions, no? And inaanyayaan ko po lahat ng nanonood dito sa venue at sa online na ipakita natin sa buong mundo ang tunay na lakas ng Pinas.
See you, sir. Good luck. Thank you. Bye.
MPL Superfans, para ipamalas ang lakas ng Pinas sa tanggiting ng Pilipino. Here are your teams for the MWI and EWC 2025. It's Team Liquid. And Team Navi Philippines. And now for our MSC at EWC 2025 representatives. Team Liquid Philippines. And Onic Philippines. Sila ang magtataguyod at magbabandera ng sagisag ng Pilipinas sa Esports World Cup at Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
They are the pride of the Philippines and the strongest contenders for immortality.
The defending champion will still stay ngayong playoffs.
No retreat, living 100 on my all, cause we just cannot be defeated. We are unstoppable. East to the southeast, taas ang matawag, crowding mountains, every enemy we devour.
Is your second grand finalist, Team Liquid.
Malakas para sa Pinas. Nasa amin ang alas, hindi dito atas. Kinikilala sa taas kasi kami ang malakas para sa Pinas. Nasa amin ang alas, hindi dito atas. Kinikilala sa taas, ganito kami sa Pinas. Malakas, Pilipinas, malakas, huh? Face the golden sun and repping for the 3 stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we unite, we the stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we unite, we the stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we unite, we the stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we the stars.
Champions Arena, this is their final quest for glory. Welcome to MPL Philippines Season 15 Grand Finals!
That was an amazing opening for our S15 Grand Finals. You just saw Team Liquid Philippines and Onic Philippines face off at the Champions Arena stage. Everyone's having the time of their lives. The Champions Arena is insane as we head on to a best of 7 to determine who will become immortal.
I got goosebumps just by seeing these two teams alongside our other MSC, our other representatives for the upcoming EWC. And this is just the strength of our region finally showing itself in the Champions Arena. But this is the ultimate test of strength for this season as well, Igan. We are about to witness in a few moments the first game of this best of 7 series. And I cannot wait.
And of course, all the way from topping the regular season to crawling back to the lower bracket, we have Team Liquid Philippines, Sanford at the XP lane, Carl Tlph at the jungle, Sanji in the mid lane, JP at the roam, OHEP at the gold lane, and after getting swept by Onic Philippines in our upper bracket finals, we saw them how they regrouped up against a familiar foe, a familiar Titan in Team Falcons. They had better drafts. We saw their versatility from regular season having a much more limited hero pool to now even Carl Tlph flexing out the Fredrin and Alpha, and we're seeing a lot of this and that even from Sanford with the glues, the Hildas, and even the Phobies, not to mention the Terizlas.
There are so much things that were introduced to us by Team Liquid Philippines, and I agree. Their reset seems like it happened so fast, it was overnight. And Onic Philippines, they did take their time. Throughout the season, they haven't had that much of a perfect record. Their performance did not reflect much of what we saw from them, especially back in M6. But after they were able to finally find their groove, they barely let go of that once more. And that's something they found heading into the playoffs, and something they never let go up until this very point, which allowed them to take that one-day break yesterday because they were able to win the upper bracket finals, as you've mentioned, against Team Liquid Philippines through a sweep. So that is a very dominant performance that you have to take into account if you are Team Liquid Philippines, regardless of how much you've been able to reset. And again, of course, the overall stats that you have to look at for both of these teams. Team Liquid Philippines, yes, you did mention they're starting to show a little bit more in terms of their flexibility, but it's mostly in terms of going back to what used to work for them. It's by reintroducing some of the most common, some of the most familiar duos, some of the most familiar lineups and heroes and combos. But for Onic Philippines, they're a team who definitely goes way beyond that.
Yeah, way beyond. And speaking of way beyond, one of the players you actually want to look at is even Brusco.
Yeah.
Imagine rocking the Badang for 3 consecutive games in his very first matchup, then showing off his show, even stopping Tlph from actually winning because of a 3-man Jeet Kune Do, to signaling or finishing off their final match with an Angela. Imagine the versatility of the Bruiser, and that's what's scary about Onic Philippines, is that in a 7-game series, it's not just about what you can dish out, it's all about what you have in store for your opponents.
And I mean, even Coach Wynot, he himself did say that there wouldn't be this entire golden goat if it weren't for Brusco, if Brusco wasn't there. So you know how big of a piece Brusco was in terms of putting all of this together, in terms of just enabling Kelra to do his thing. And that's another interesting thing we could also probably talk about or look at when it comes to Team Liquid Philippines, because I feel like JP has been, if not the most versatile player so far in the playoffs, showing us so many roamers as well. You did mention Brusco, he did introduce the Angela, and I like how he did at almost a perfect timing, but you could say the same for JP. I feel like there's so much more that we can still see from this player of Team Liquid Philippines, and how well they're able to mesh everything up. Like all their plans, what else could they have possibly for us in this finals?
Yes, they have to put it all out because it's the final game of the season, the grand finals, the best of 7. A lot at stake for JP Carl Tlph to reach their fourth MPL championship, for Onic Philippines to be able to go back-to-back. So these decorated players want to add another trophy to their trophy case.
And actually, haven't we mentioned something earlier while we were trying to, or while we were still preparing for the finals, about JP and all his finals appearances whenever it's up against Onic?
Yeah, Renmar mentioned this, S4, S5, they were able to beat Onic Philippines in the grand final. So let's see if the story will stay the same. Will JP again defeat Onic Philippines? But let's head over to our Smart Ping test.
Hello guys, welcome to the Grand Finals. Napuno ba? Puno ba ang venue, Kirk? Shout sa inyong lahat guys. Thank you so much sa pagpunta at pagsuporta sa both teams. Thank you for the effort guys. Effort and time and love. Well, Professor, what to do? Guys, pinapapili kayo ni Kirk. Marry, kiss, or kill. I love you all. Kirk, sino yung pusong ligaw mo? Ikaw pa rin. Grabe, Team Liquid tsaka Onic, punong-puno.
Pre, enjoy nyo lang laro. Hayaan yung laro yung, yung mag-flow sa atin naturally. Okay? Ikaw, JP, mag-ingat ka lagi pag kay Bruce ko. Kasi kailangan respetuhin yung mga yan. So, wag natin i-let down.
Huwag ka agaw sa batang.
Hindi na maulit yung agaw ni Ogwen. Ikaw, mid lane, wag ka papa-Prince. Huwag ka papa-Prince. Prince lane na tawag ko dun Prince lane mo nga yung mid. Yun. Sige, gold lane, wag ka papasolo. Pero tignan nyo na lang mga mukha ng mga fans natin. Pero tignan mo mga pagod-pagod dyan, pre. Isipin mo pipili ano na haba. Sabay, papatalo lang natin, di ba?
The young GOAT Carl Tlph wants to offer this matchup to his fans, and of course, King Kong. You know, the Sigma, just showing off that he doesn't care about what matchup it is. He doesn't care about the atmosphere. Yeah. He has it in him to win this game and be the third team to have a back-to-back championship.
Yeah, and that's a smart ping test for this game. And ultimately, we've been discussing a wide variety of Infinix keys to victory, but now that we're down to the final matchup of Season 15, there is only one that both of these teams who've made it this far have to show us. Ilabas ang lakas ng Pinas. Directly translated,
show the strength of the Philippines. Many regard it as the strongest region. Not to mention won the last 5 World Championships, and now they are put to the test against each other. These two teams again, S13 champions, Team Liquid Philippines, and S14 champions, Onic Philippines. M4 World Champions versus M6 World Champions. A heated rivalry, and it's just getting started.
From all the way, M4 to M6. They meet once again after having to regroup and revisit what's been going wrong, especially for the Cavalry. I feel like even internationally, a lot are excited to see them again.
Yeah, and not to mention, this might indirectly or directly answer the GOAT debate that has been in discussions online, not just in the Philippines, but all around the world. The young GOAT versus the golden GOAT, the man with the most monikers, Kelra, and Carl Tlph. This finals matchup will determine who is actually better than great. Oh, that was called back.
It was. And this is Kelra. We've been mentioning all the titles he already has under his belt, be it the MPL Philippines Championship Finals MVP title, the MSC Championship Finals MVP title, the M-Series Championship and Finals MVP title. He has almost all of that already.
Oh, why are you voting for Onic? Because I'm about to flex Carl Tlph now. Who could forget the S6 Finals MVP with Bren, M2 MVP, the S12 regular season MVP, a Hall of Fame inductee, 3-time MPL champion, and 2-time M-Series champion.
That's a lot to list down.
That's a whole lot of papers.
We'll need a couple of sheets of paper for us to be able to write all of those things down. But yeah, this is definitely a chance for these teams to cement.
Yeah, and apart from that, you know, Keller is not even just going up against Carl Tlph, he's going up against a familiar foe. One of his heated rivals all the way back to Season 7, no other than the Filipino sniper, Oheb, up against the Filipino savage, Kelleran, as we look at the player head-to-head stats, Bree.
Yep. A bunch of these are actually in favor of Oheb if you would look at their player head-to-head. And this is something that you would have to probably take into account, especially for based on the way Team Liquid Philippines is actually playing their games overall. Even just yesterday, I would recall, I'm sure you would recall, how it did feel like regardless of what kind of roamer JP does use, there is always this extra assistance that's provided to OHEB. There is always this attempt to just allow OHEB to either max out the energy shields, just do the double laning early on, and this is something you would say that could possibly be a very gold-centric playstyle that's coming in from Team Liquid Philippines. But on the other hand, this is Kellera, who can pretty much do so many things all by himself.
Yeah, we witnessed a lot of amazing plays from Kellera. I know for sure my throat actually suffered a lot from these amazing plays from the Filipino Savage himself. But apart from that, of course, the people or the players that control also the tempo of the game. We have the two junglers, the young GOAT in Tlph and the Sigma himself, King Kong.
And I know we've been wanting to see so much of the old Tlph and the Lancelot, but that's something they're yet to show us if ever they are planning to, especially heading into the grand finals. We've seen more of it from King Kong, and it's honestly already been 2 games where he's decided to use this hero. So if it's just that, yes, Tlph and King Kong, they're both players with a very respectable hero pool. And that is something that'll probably be a little tricky whenever we head into the draft later on.
Yeah, for Tlph again, he just had his 2,000 kills achieved. I believe it was in day 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Something like that. And apart from that, highest, one of the highest damage dealt and highest damage received. So it shows his versatility as a jungler. And not to mention King Kong, the whole story of the latter half of 2024 was his, and even the first parts of 2025 was how amazing and how fast he is when it comes to his farming. Even beat his record established at 9 minutes for level 15 jungler. What's the record again in, I believe it was in SPS, around 8 minutes or something seconds. He has to put it out again up against the young GOAT, Tlph.
This is why so many adjustments have been taking place, right?
Yeah, it's because of these guys.
It's because of these guys. It's because of this guy, especially based on the past few months and the way he's been playing the jungler role, the rotations that he's been doing here and there. But this is another heated lane matchup, you know? Like, this is something we've been observing all season long. Yesterday, all the more if you're a fan of the Cavalry, Sanji and his Farsa. There were just some insane plays that came in from this guy yesterday. But in terms of consistency, you must have to give it to Super Prince as well.
Yeah, consistently in Onic Philippines, one of the longest players there since season 10. Remember his interview that he was fortunate enough that the organization did not give up on him. He was a pure cornerstone for their organization. And not to mention the way he controls and changes the games. People even started to say that you can get a lot of crazy builds from Super Prince. Remember the Farsa with the rapid boots, the turbo Farsa, so we can expect a lot. But apart from that, Sanji also, the Lone Stallion. Is it just me, or me and Leo talked about how when it comes to Sanji, he always finds himself alone in crucial situations in high-stakes games. We witnessed that yesterday. Even in Season 13, we witnessed that when Sanji was the last man to push. And even in S12, when they got dropped by Blacklist, he was the last, then Orca remaining. So the Lone Stallion is up against the monster mage himself. Who has the better micro between the two mid laners?
Yeah, even just yesterday, you gotta check it out for yourselves if you haven't. The way that on the Lu Yi, he just decided to use the diversion to push to the top base first. Like that one too. Like there have been so many plays coming in from this player that you could actually build a highlight reel already from him, even just in the playoffs. But these are 2 players we've been discussing as well earlier. It's the roamers of this matchup who pretty much introduced so many picks already, especially if we're talking about Daddy JP.
Yeah, Daddy JP, 3-time champion, 1-time M-Series champion, started all the way in Season 2 with Archangels, 1-2 with Sunsparks up against Onic Philippines. So in terms of championship matchups, JP versus Onic Philippines, it's JP all the way. He hasn't lost a single finals appearance with this organization.
JP he might actually want to keep that record.
Yeah, he wants to keep it clean.
I feel like he doesn't realize that he actually has that record.
Yeah.
But if he does.
Was it Renmar who... I think it was Renmar who told him.
Yeah,
I think... Did you know that you haven't lost a single finals matchup against Onic Philippines? And Jimmy was like, oh, really?
Yeah, and it was Perks who reminded them that, yeah, you never lost against Onic Philippines. So that's something he probably is already aware about right now.
Yeah. And for the side of Onic Philippines, again, Brusco, who could forget one of the most crucial plays that he had up against Tlph in the upper bracket finals. With a final attempt from the Cavalry, a conceal, they charged in but got stopped in their tracks by Brusco's show. One Jit Kundu turned things around to their favor, stunned 3, and was able to wipe out or at least get 4 kills and win the game with a sweep for Onic Philippines. But with Tlph having the luxury of getting the first pick side priority, they go with their higher win rate side. They go with red side.
Okay. So we'll be seeing Team Liquid Philippines in the red side for game number 1. And this is gonna be a very favorable situation if you're Team Liquid Philippines. But that still doesn't stop Onic Philippines from pulling off some of the most interesting drafts we could possibly see from them later on, especially considering that throughout the past few games, like, they've been brave enough to try a couple of things too. Even for Kellera, like they've been consistent on this entire Jushin 1-1 setup.
Yeah.
They even tried out the Clint ones, and the one time he used the Earthel, it was able to perform so well.
Yeah, so well, and they need all of that to be able to go up against a force like Team Liquid Philippines. And for Team Liquid Philippines, we can't forget about the performances of the XP laners. I was thinking about Sanford, but also Kirk also performed with the glue. That was phenomenal. I believe it was a spotless KDA 0 deaths, but a high kill participation. So a glue might be a priority for both of these XP laners. But as we head on to the drafting phase of our game number 1 in the MPL Philippines Season 15 Grand Finals, the Champions Arena erupting, as today we will witness who will raise the Immortal Cup. Is it the defending champions Onic, or is it gonna be Team Liquid Philippines? As we head on to the drafting phase, let's call in Slick Thick himself, Renmar Santa Cruz. Where are you at?
I feel like if you say that, enough people are actually going to believe that I've changed my name to Slick Thick. Hi everyone, still Renmar here. This is a major development for the draft, as this is only the second time this entire playoffs that Onic Philippines has actually drafted on the blue side. So with Team Liquid Philippines picking red, that's strategic. Not only to say that, hey, this is our preferred side, but to put Onic literally in an uncomfortable position. Again, only the second time Onic has drafted blue.
Yeah, although the one time that they were actually, I feel, forced out of it, it was a great draft coming from them too. I think, if I'm not mistaken, was it at the time they were actually able to bring out the Lancelot as well? We'll be double checking that later on. But
I remember that when they drafted blue side, it was actually against Team Liquid, game number 3. That's when they surprised us with bringing out the Angela Bach shot together.
Oh, that too. So there are just so many possibilities that we can expect, even if Onic Philippines are actually drafting here in the blue side. But right now, looking at the bans so far, I feel like the joy may still be open as well. The Jushin is out there too, and Super Prince, by the way, used the Jushin already 7 times throughout the playoffs.
Okay, weirdly enough, Onic Philippines can do a massive swerve in this draft and pick up something like a Granger as the Joy's gone for the first pick, but usually it's a Jushin or Loyi here. More often than not, once we go to the red side, first 2 picks, Team Liquid actually has picked an OHEB pick for the first 2 picks red side 9 times already this playoffs. Most of the time, it's the Granger and/or Harith. So with the Jushin locked in by Onic, Granger plus a Sanford pick might be the go here for Team Liquid.
Let's see, Granger available here for the Filipino sniper himself. He talked about the glue that has been popping off for Sanford and even for Kirk, but there you have it. Like what Slick Thick mentioned, second pick red side for Team Liquid Philippines will be OHEB.
Yeah. So they're pairing it up with the Baksha, which is gonna be somewhat of a flex still. If
Yeah.
your Team Liquid Philippines, JP used it twice as well, but that's the thing. I feel like it's only been JP who's been using the Baksha in Team Liquid Philippines so far.
Yeah, I think that's already a tell that most likely this is going to be going to the roam. As for the EXP hero for Sanford, they want him something with a bit more high impact. Let's see if any of these two teams are going to surprise and suddenly pick up a clue much earlier than it usually does appear in drafts. Both junglers still not picked. We might go into the second phase with one team not picking up a jungler just yet. But Dang's still open for Onic Philippines if they want to go down that route. Usually seen in the first side. But as we posed the possibility, they brought it up, a clue right away for Onic, and they pick up an Aerithel as an instant response to the Granger in lane.
Oh, you know, the last time Glue was picked up by Kirk, it was a near perfect KDA. It was hard to kill him, but he was always present during the clashes. And I just noticed now that Onic Philippines banned out the Lucas, so the question remains, is King Kong in the Grand Finals ready to use the Lucas at the jungler later on?
They banned it out too, I feel. So could Carl TZ be considering the Hayabusa at this point? Or does... I feel like the Onic Philippines have set up so well if ever there is a Hayabusa coming out in this slot. Like the Glue and the Aerithel and the Chushin already, these three picks might be okay with this, so they switch things up and pick up the Mathilda instead.
All right. Despite them usually putting the Baksha in the hands of JP, they pick up the Mathilda in the roam. Then okay, so it's still tough to see where this Baksha is going. There is a possibility that it might suddenly swerve and go into the jungle. Let's see if Onic will suddenly ban out an Alpha, because we saw Team Liquid Philippines bring out that combination earlier this playoffs.
Yeah. I feel like it's gonna work well considering that Onic Philippines 2 are yet to actually reveal much of their tanky or their other frontline heroes.
Yeah. I think considering that they're up against a Jushin in the center of the map, and then there is a Mathilda roam there, they might be encouraged to actually just put this Baksha in the jungle instead, so that you have a very safe river. With the Ling ban, they want the Farsa as an option.
The Farsa Mathilda too. That could be a huge pickup here if you're Team Liquid Philippines. Will Onic Philippines actually let that through? They ban out the Luyi instead. So this feels like one of the best spots to bring out the Farsa, so they can save much of what they're planning to show us for this draft.
I am leaning towards the Farsa pickup here for Team Liquid, unless they really save the mid lane pick later and pick up show the Sanford and already show where the Baksha is going to be going. More tankiness is what Team Liquid Philippines needs. Trizla might not be the answer, but it could be one of the things in consideration. If they want mobility to take to the back line, maybe they put Sanford in more active, something like a Hilda. But the problem is you don't see the jungler from the side of Onic. And Onic still has the capability to go with a, hey, what if Team Liquid are just going Fred here?
Yeah, oh wait.
Because they can go Fred, Baksha, Granger, Mathilda all together.
Oh yeah, so they just reveal the Farsa instead.
Yep.
Sanford will have plenty of time to consider whatever his XP lane is gonna be later on. There are a couple of options still left there too for him, but Onic Philippines right now, we're looking at what King Kong is willing to play into this draft. Team Liquid Philippines, they've been banning out most of the assassins already, and them leaving out the Lancelot. It feels like they also have a way to answer back if ever it does show up.
Feels like a choice if they're going to go Lance here. And then if Onic decides to go for something with pickoff, that can encourage Team Liquid Philippines to go full tanky, bring in a Fredrin, put in a Baksha in the EXP lane, so the kick will be a little bit more, well, for the lack of a better term, useless, because who are you going to kick other than the Mathilda and the Granger, and can you actually kick them? They go for the Joe, and then you go for the Lancelot. If I'm Liquid, you pick Fredrin now or something equally tanky.
Yep.
Well, we got what we wanted. Lancelot from King Kong as Sanford picks up the Phobius. Drafts for the first game of the Grand Final set in stone. Who's gonna draw the first blood? Onic Philippines, the defending champions, up against the top-seeded team, Team Liquid Philippines. It's a best-of-7 series here in the Champions Arena.
This is gonna be such a test for Onic Philippines and for Team Liquid Philippines as well. The draft index, it's not that far for both of these teams. And the Phobius feels like it's just gonna have such a great time, considering that it's up against both the Lancelot and the Cho, plus the additional mobility that can be provided by JP as well. And that's not just onto the Phobius, but onto the other members of Team Liquid Philippines.
And now we head over to our casters for our Game 1 Grand Finals.
Thank you so much to the panel. What is up, guys? I'm Nice Dude. I'm joined here. It's us, the Wee Bear Bros. It's me, Leo, and Renmar to bring you the action. It's a best of 7 for the grand final.
I love that Lancelot for the first time in the playoffs was something we foresaw.
Yeah. Finally. Seems like it's been a while since we've seen him pop up more consistently, but now we're encouraged to bring it out. Aggressive trades in the center of the map, an Onic typical play, especially if they have a Juicin and the Cho together at the center. The Lancelot pickup from Onic actually turned Oheb off from the idea of picking up a Purify himself, so that makes the kick of the Cho even more expensive. But there's a Lancelot, you really need the Purify for the reposition to avoid him.
I'm wondering if this is going to be a difficult one for King Kong specifically, you know, against this kind of composition that Tlph brought to Game 1, because there seems like it's utility overload, but then also so much tankiness to deal with.
Yeah, with all of that, Kelra, okay, decides to go for the Warrior Boots first. King Kong actually still undefeated on this Lancelot, so let's see if we'll be able to make some magic here. In the past, it looked like the Lancelot pick wouldn't work, but it ended up working twice, very cleanly.
Brusco catching JP. Early moments in the game number 1, it's Liquid crossing the river more often than the Super Fam.
Okay, so now as we kind of look at this, you know, most of these games that we've seen in the playoffs have been quite frantic. You know, in the early game, we've had some just brawls break out, but overall, when you get in this kind of endurance test of a best of 7, just like we saw last night, for example, you really want to go ahead and try to pace your game out and the game plan here. But with both compositions, their game plans, do they change? Like, are they that different between these compositions, Renmar?
It's not going to be quite the same. King Kong already goes in.
Whoa. Very low. Sanford pulled in by JP. Both teams considering maybe we should fight, maybe we should. A turtle dance begins.
Yeah, let's see if Team Liquid will still heavily contest, considering Sanford took a lot of damage.
Turtle currently 3/4. Here we go. kalian coming through. Better air strike. Look at the back line. A lot of damage put on to Sanji. Down goes the Lone Stallion. First off the board. Sanford gets a jump on. Gets out of there. He falls. Kelra finds one.
Man, Kelra came all the way from the gold lane just to make sure that Onic Philippines was going to be able to win that one.
Unexpected rotation, incredibly well timed, but they got the gold lane.
kalian still wants to fight for it. And underneath, King Kong with a Phantom Execution. Liquid's going to pay for this hard. kalian running away. Desperation. King Kong takes down the young goat.
He couldn't use the guiding wind. Brusco goes in.
The Bruiser gets a kick in. And he's trying to take down Sanji. Wings by wings out. Close call. King Kong got 40 on him. The Apex Predator finds one.
Well, I'm going to take my words back. I said they were kind of frantic. Well, this one happens to be 2.
That's how you set the bar for the grand finals. Action right away. Not willing to give up an unfavorable trade as much as possible. Both teams looking for wins through kills. Sanford getting the kill there onto King Kong was massive for Team Liquid, because if he didn't get that, they would have lost that entire sequence 100%.
This is interesting here, the matchup between Airthil and Granger. You know, Granger's got that advantage 72% times every time he's going to get the Airthil. So we're going to see if Kelra can make work. But the fact that he got an early kill early on, and that's why he rotated, maybe gives him a little bit of an advantage to go up. I mean, he's barely ahead of Oheb right now, but he does have that Haas Clause, which is going to help him kind of sustain that lane a little bit longer. But still, it just seems like Brusco is really aggressive on this Cho, man. Like, is that the game plan for him the whole game?
Oh, definitely. He should be. He's up against a Matilda. He can't allow JP to set the tempo. So Brusco is just playing it with aggression. The good thing is, Onic Philippines are going with that aggression. They're not just letting him check and poke alone. Super Prince is always with him. Kirk is nearby, especially when the turtle was down at the bottom lane. And even King Kong is close enough to respond to anything that Brusco decides to do. So they're allowing the roamer to be aggressive, but they're ready to back him up.
Okay, well, right now, Turtle's going to come up here. We'll see how Brusco decides to go with it, but meanwhile, in the bottom lane, there's a little bit of focus here for now, but it is Sanford. He's on the Phobius. I don't think you can do too much, even this 2v1, but Turtle's up now. You can see where Onic is around the map, but look at this from Tlph. They might be trying to make a play here.
Oh, Brusco knows that there might be more than just kalian in that brush. Sanji wings by wings out, kalian sandwiched by 3 from the Super Fam. Sanford pushing King Kong out, little too low. The Sigma jungler calls it quits.
Okay, since the positioning wasn't good for either squad, they both just retreat. They now go for the turtle. Brusco will start things off. Good position already held by Super Prince in that middle shrub. Kirk is here as well. It looks good for Team Liquid. They can contest, but they gotta be careful because if they lose this big time, it's not gonna be good, as Onic already has a 1,200 gold lead.
Well, right now, all the junglers are both junglers on the other side of the map. kalian finally making his way. King Kong gets his orange, but right now it's just a standstill for this turtle. That's not going to be the focus just yet. Kirk, that's what you call a zone there, man. Yeah. Just walk up on the glue against Sanji and try to force something out. Brusco, though.
Then there's strike by Sanji, pushing out Super Prince and the Bruiser. Very low. Liquid bursts that turtle down. That's 1 for the cavalry.
Yeah, Onic decided to play for the macro instead. They got the tower in the bottom lane. I think they're going to make a big play for the center of the map, because they want the map control instead. They knew that if they faced Liquid in that turtle, it was a bit of a 50-50, leaning a little bit more towards Onic, but they just decided to play it safe, push towers instead, and now let's see if Onic can expedite the farm of Kelra.
I guess in the grand scheme of things, going for the turret and going for some map presence is going to be better for what Onic wants to set up for. Oh,
what is Kirk doing? Just crossing over from the back like that. Doesn't get punished either.
Maybe that's why. Because he's on the glue.
Yeah.
He's been playing like that for a while.
That's a flicker and a kick. Oh, the pullback. Not going to be enough. Oh, Hem gets taken down. The better strike. The reaction from Liquid taking out King Kong 1 for 1.
That's a core for core. Gold for jungler. What a kick though by Brusco. Cross not done.
The young gold ain't done with you. Super Prince, Crimson Beacon out of here. Look at the back line though. Kirk gets dunked on. Finds that grab underneath the turret. Whoa. The pullback. This way, that way.
What is happening? Everybody is everywhere, especially when you have a Matilda in play.
Yeah, Kirk had to jump out of that flight like DP Cooper. It's like, I'm out of here, man. I got my money. I'm good. A good decision by Kirk to, that he remembered that he could just let go of the grab. He would have been brought all the way under the tower. Great little play there, sequenced by Sanford and JP to actually think of that possibility. As we look at the items, I want to look at the EXP laners. Dreadnought armor on the way to Dominance Ice Chop Suey build. A Silence Robe is also in for Kirk, so he does have magic resist. While for Sanford, no full item just yet. He went for the Silence Robe. And on the way to a Dominance Ice.
Circling Eagle out of the Bruiser, just checking for range. Gets punished hard. Taken down and 40. Stopping Kirk from just gallivanting all over their side of the map. Prince pushing back. Push by the Filipino sniper. But down bottom, they didn't see. King Kong was working on a lane of his own.
Yeah, King Kong's still pushing. He's been doing this majority of the game, so he gets that tier 2 down. Turtle is gone, so Lord's going to be up here in just a second.
Go, JP.
Oh, JP.
Full-on fight breaking out here. Oh, Hem gets hit. Gets choked down. Taken out by Kelra. kalian looking for some retribution in the back line. Shutting down the Golden Goat. Now Prince up next on the docket. Where's Prince going? He doesn't have his own Nora flicker. Gets taken down by Daddy JP. Kirk gets the grab on the 40. What are their plans here with the Kirk attack? King Kong looking to punish. Thou shalt not grab my XP later. 40 obliges, keeps on fighting. Phantom execution in. King Kong very low. Can JP and kalian do this? Sanford gets him. Serving up a kill to kalian. Kirk still alive throughout the exchange.
What a sequence by these two. And Team Liquid Philippines, their shields, their tankiness, their sustain. It's the X factor here, as Onic made the right call, but Team Liquid were just way too tanky.
And all of these decisions from Tlph brings them now to this point. Onic Philippines, do they want to try to delay this or stop this? They don't have a jungler, so this should just be for Tlph, but there's a whole lot happening and Brusco's in trouble.
Ain't no time to dance. Liquid secures the Lord in just a jiffy, and now kalian bumps right into Kirk. Kirk obliges with a spread, looking for that grab. Super Prince wailing away at the turret. Slow rolling. Prince finally takes it out.
Can we just take a breath for a moment? I feel like for the past 4 minutes, it hasn't stopped.
Yeah, potentially we got 6 more games. So very clear right now, Onic playing the macro, pushing turrets because they know Team Liquid Philippines are so strong, playing the 4-man, 5-man team fight. JP's timings with the guiding winds have been on point. The shields he's been able to dish out so far have been at the perfect time, that when we think King Kong's about to get an execution, just a little bit more basic attack from either Brusco or Kelra will finish the job. Suddenly, you see a shield pop up for members of Liquid.
kalian setting up the gank from the flank. Oheb slowly but surely following through, pushing through mid, taking it down. Is this Grant the purple? Oh, yes, it is.
Yeah, they're going to take that. They take more, too. They get another Tier 2 down, for the first Tier 2 down with that Lord push. Now Tlph in charge of this game. What does Onic Philippines need to happen here? Because I feel like even King Kong really hasn't been able to do much other than push on the other side of the map here.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing about Onic is they are very close in terms of the gold. Kirk, Super Friends, highest in the damage dealt department, though that isn't really the best sign for them. That means they need just a little bit more farm for Kelra, or more importantly, a little bit more time, because as these engagements go on longer for Team Liquid Philippines, you're wondering, hey Onic, where's your damage? It's because Kelra is getting picked off earlier in the fights, when these fights are going way longer. So Onic need to do a better job of taking care of Kelra, because Team Liquid are doing a great job of finding ways to access the back line late into the fight. Just when Kelra thinks, hey, I'm safe, I'm gonna keep doing damage, suddenly a Basha comes rolling in.
Yeah, that's one of the problems, it seems like, is just, again, the utility and the mobility that the lineup that Tlph has is difficult. Like, if you're in Kelra's shoes here and you basically just have a couple options to get away, you really have to rely on the team to be able to back you up and give you that space to maneuver around these team fights. But, you know, you throw a Baksha on the other side, and sometimes that off angle that a Baksha can come from is enough to mess things up.
Look at the total heal on Sanford and JP, the sustain that they have. King Kong, Super Prince, and Kirk are being able to provide healing for themselves as well, but not in the level that JP and Sanford are. Look at the items here. Still not that far off of the Granger, though already up to the Sky Piercer, Malefic Roar, Hunter Strike for Oheb, while Kelra does have the GDS, so it seems like he's also understood the problem, that once he pops his ultimates, he does need more mobility, more space for himself, so good third item there for Kelra.
Okay, still standoff here. Lord's coming up in a couple seconds.
BOD for Oheb.
Yeah.
Onyx going to start feeling the pain.
They're going to feel the pain, and I'm wondering, again, if they want to go ahead and decide to do this, because for the majority of this one, King Kong's been elsewhere, right? Pushing, focusing on objectives. Will we see him actually approach and try to contest a Lord here?
That's a catch-22. Again, you want to protect Kelra. Your main damage source is Kelra, but he's supplemented by King Kong. That's why it's been so difficult for Onic to find the winning fight for the past 5 minutes.
Okay. And even with that, you're seeing, you know, Sanji, that's all he has to do. Pop a Feathered Airstrike, and you're kind of left to the whims of that. You know, as soon as that Feathered Airstrike drops down, you just disengage. So what it feels like is Onic Philippines is just trying to buy the time that they need to allow Kelra to get basically fully item locked. And let him loose.
Brusco.
He gets retreat. Kelra's there.
Oh, Lord. 2v3 coming down. Brusco gets bombed by Oheb point blank. Kelra running away, doesn't want to pick this fight here, and just as quickly, the cavalry disengages.
You can tell kalian made that call once he hit the Retribution onto Brusco, and he was slowed down. Great rotation there by Team Liquid Philippines to pick off a key member for this objective. Look at Carl going for King!
Oh, and now Sanford joins the fight. Kirk looking to disengage for his jungler. That's too much pressure. Kelra takes out Sanji off camera! And this might have been all to Onyx's plan, or is it? The Lord still standing, they're dancing.
Oh, Kirk goes back in.
Oh, 40 gets a little bit of help, might get popped here, still alive. kalian takes the Lord off camera. 40 gets taken down by the Sigma jungler. Oheb, one over Kelra, another for the Filipino sniper. The monster is quelled.
There was 2 fights all around the map, but the objective goes to Tlph. What a smart move from kalian.
Team Liquid understood they needed to get back onto the objective. They left Sanji to the mercy of Kelra. That split fight caused by Sanford and Carl, but Carl went back, Liquid went back to the major objective. They made the right call when they almost were their own reason for losing that.
Yeah, again, Sanford, the fact that he was able to survive that long to allow them to get back to that Lord, that's what helped them. And not to mention, again, this is a Baksha. He goes around the map before you even know it. But this top turret doesn't go down just yet. So Onic Philippines will hold on to that, but they'll lose some more space unless this tier 2 doesn't go down. But Tlph might make a move still as they have this pressure. I don't think they want to force anything just yet because Sanford and Oheb don't have those battle spells available.
Early in the playoffs, Liquid got stomped by Onic superior macro. 15 minutes into game number 1 here, it's clear that Liquid learned their lesson. Liquid will not allow Onic to do that anymore. Liquid has more trading tools, and that's what making the Super Fam struggle. It's like, we sent this, we did the right things, but Liquid just seems to have more on the board.
Yeah, this is coming off of a draft where they knew and expected what King Kong and Onic would pick for the jungle in one of their last 2 picks on the blue side. They manipulated the draft incredibly well that they call back to a meta that they won a world championship with back in M4. Tanky, sustain in the jungle, provide space for your mid and gold. But a lot of these kills that Team Liquid are getting are, I wouldn't say they are low quality, but they are somewhat lacking in aesthetic quality. They are just brute force fights though, and if you get kills that way, resources that way, then who are we to complain?
Yeah, sometimes that's just gonna work. Trying to get this base turret down, they'll get out with the wings by wings, and they're still going.
Kirk here forcing the Fed Air Strike. The response from Sanji. Look at how deep 40 is. The grab. Enough stacks for Kirk to get onto the Apex Predator. Kirk goes down. A kill served up to Oheb. That's a man down for the Super Fam, making this defense all the more difficult. Lord in 30.
Carl is more than enough to stop Kelra from fighting. The fact that he has a blade armor on him means that Kelra can't even poke him down to send him back.
Yeah, this is interesting too because Tlph has done damage to pretty much all the base turrets of Onic. They just haven't gotten any down yet. Lord's 20 seconds away. So depending on how they want to play this, it just seems like it's impossible for Onic Philippines to really look for that angle. This is why we see Brusco doing this. You know, he's trying. This is one of the struggles of being on a Cho. You have to be able to put yourself in that position where you can get a kick, but can you even find it?
Onic is uncomfortable. That's safe to say. They're working the map and they can't win fights. Even more, the Cavalry is uncomfortable because this is not the Liquid Stampede we know, right? But a Stampede is a Stampede. Kills are kills, objectives are objectives, and Liquid can afford to take the slow right now.
Oh, King Kong.
But do they want it? They find King Kong with a circling eagle forcing. A Phantom Execution, Carl Daisy coming in. Kachow, he is speed. Liquid, straight on collapse.
Kelra.
To Onic. Look at Kelra from the back line.
Kelra.
I wonder if they know he's hiding in the river brush. Crimson Beacon from Super Prince. The ride by Kirk. He disengages, calls it quits. Kelra right now in the sights of Kaltizi, but Kirk bites it first.
Kelra waited and he was right there, but it was not the right time to jump in. And so with Kirk gone, Tlph has a take on the Lord here. Will Onic Philippines delay it or stop it? Half health on the Lord. King Kong zoned out.
All right, there's a Thorn Rose. Gets a few beats out of the jump down. A few bullets missed, but the flickered forward by Oheb.
Just at the right time to be aggressive. Oheb is now 6, 2, and 3. It's long, it's scrappy, and it's putting Onic in a very uncomfortable spot. All the little scraps that Onic has to deal with, and it's way too much. Team Liquid, the gallop is slowly turning into the Stampede.
Slow but dominant push here by Liquid across the map. Free Lord scored. 18 minutes in, it's evolved.
It's evolved at this point, so Tlph off of what was a gallop turning into a stampede already. They're getting ready to possibly stampede to a victory. With this one in a comfortable lead ahead, 5.2K, it doesn't seem like Onic Philippines has an answer. How are they looking on the defense side of things here, though?
Oh, it's going to be tough. You see that even though Kelra's full build, he's barely scratching Carl Teasy. And once Carl shows up in front of the Irithel, Kelra says, all right, I'm going to bring you down. Wait, this hurts. I need to stop basic attacking you. What do I do now?
Estimated Onic lineup in base clearing power, about 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
I'm being very generous.
That's
Again,
very generous.
It's mainly Kelra who's doing this. Like, have you seen how slow even late game Zushin clears?
Even with the items, it's not going to do that much. But right now, they're going to have to buckle in. The Lord's still making its way up top. They'll clear out these waves. Bottom base turret does go down, though. So Tlph, Kelra taking a little bit of hits here. They'll go ahead and disengage. Keeping Sanford on this side, the Lord's going to go ahead and charge and take out the top turret. Tlph looking for their own window.
Whoa! The forward push on the better air strike. One salvo catches him. Brusco gets caught by Circling Eagle. Deep inside, Onyx base. Frizz gets picked off. The mid Liquid inhibitors falling too. This is looking bad for Superfam. Base at half health. There's still a bunch of waves in. Sanford jumping into the skies.
Oh, they're gonna have to work out. They're gonna have to disengage as they're stopped in the base.
This might be dangerous. Liquid have to check their range. Better there's one coming through. Salvos on the Brusco. In comes King Kong taking down Sanji.
They're able to defend, but there was a wave pushing in. Kelra's back. And that's it for Tlph pushing in the base.
They break the formation of Liquid around the feathered airstrike. King Kong gets Sanji down at the nick of time. And with the minion waves crashing in, Liquid had spent too much already to continue their push. Still, the problems are prevalent for Onic. Way too tanky are the front line, but the hope is there. And I think King Kong now has to put his eyes onto the head chef of the Baby Cakes Bakery, Sanji.
Too much, but I'd say it was something Liquid could have afforded. Again, it's just Sanji.
Yeah.
If it was some way, somehow, Oheb that died, then maybe they're in trouble. Maybe they could get punished. But at this point, again, sitting at, oh my God, 1,000 stacks, almost max Sky Piercers. I'd say they're in good shape. Well, Tlph gets caught out.